Hello, friends and friends of First Baptist. This is our midweek update for December 3rd, 2025. Let me share with you a couple of things that are going on. This weekend is a pretty busy weekend around our church. First of all, we have Parents' Night Out on December 5th. If you've not signed up your kids for that, time's almost out. You better sign them up right now. And then on December 6th and Sunday night, December 7th, is our Festival of Carols, 6 o'clock, both nights. You don't want to miss this. This is a fantastic event that we have every year. People come from all over Northeast Oklahoma to be a part of this, and it's right here in downtown Tulsa at First Baptist Church. So enjoy this Festival of Carols and a great way to launch the Christmas season. I also want to keep in front of you our missions goal, $344,000. Please give to that faithfully and sacrificially. We're going to fund missions and missionaries around the world, as well as building another compassion center in Indonesia. Okay, so as we finish off the year, these last 3 weeks, we're going to take a little bit of a break toward the end of the year on our midweek update, but we're entering into the last 3 minor prophets. All of them come about in the same era, and it's the Persian era. Now, here's where I would encourage you to watch the resource video if you want to. You need to understand the Assyrian Empire, the world's first superpower, wiped out the northern kingdom of Israel. Assyria fell, Babylon takes its place. They invaded Judah, took those people into exile. When Babylon faded, the Persian Empire filled the void. And the Persians told all of the exiled refugees from Judah, you can go back home. You can go back home and rebuild. And so what happens in Haggai is the people are rebuilding, and we talked about this a few weeks ago on a Sunday morning. They were rebuilding, but they were doing it ever so slowly. And they were rebuilding their houses first rather than rebuilding the temple of the Lord. And Haggai says, you need to get to work. You need to rebuild God's temple and see if God won't bless you in helping you rebuild everything else if you build that first. It's what we talked about a few Sunday mornings ago. You need to accept reality, and you need to adjust your priorities. And so the people were encouraged to put priority on building the temple. Now here's the deal. Haggai has a ministry that only spans 15 weeks. He date marks where he is in his life and when his ministry begins and ends. So just for a couple of months, he gives his prophetic voice to God's people. But his impact would last the next 500 years. As the people did rebuild the temple, it launched the second temple period that would see its culmination in Jesus Christ. That temple that Haggai was encouraging people to rebuild, that would be the very same temple that Jesus would walk into 500 years later. So you don't need to have a long ministry to have a ministry of impact. 2 quick things I'll point out about Haggai as you read this very short book. Pay attention to the beginning of chapter 2. God says, do not be afraid and get to work. Sometimes we need to hear that. Sometimes we get stuck in our own fears and anxieties. Put the fears aside. If you've heard me say this before, do the next right thing. Get to work. Also, there's a little note here toward the end of chapter 2 where he's talking to Zerubbabel, who's one of his leaders, and he calls Zerubbabel his signet ring. That Zerubbabel, which, by the way, that's a hard name to say. You're like a signet ring. It would be a ring a man would wear that would be his mark when he made a contract or when he made an agreement. And a signet ring was a man's most prized possession. And so God tells Zerubbabel, you are my signet ring. You are my leader for such a time as this. And a person who finds themselves and commits themselves to stay in the middle of God's will is untouchable by any other force. And God reminds Zerubbabel through Haggai, you are my prized possession, as are we as God's people. I love you, love serving as your pastor. Read through the book of Haggai, accept reality, adjust your priorities, quit worrying, get to work. The Lord bless you. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.